Here I am back, and good afternoon, everyone. Juniors, seniors, all my colleagues. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone is in a good mood. And here I'm again going to start another lecture on a different topic. This time it will be on, sorry about this, this time it will be on the name of the topic, the beginning, the beginnings of a CPE culture and HRM. I repeat, today's topic, the beginnings of a CPE culture and HRM. Sit back and enjoy the lecture wherever you are, my friends. Have a good time. Let's start. Culture, to me, deserves respect and attention. It must be given as an item. Culture must deserve respect, and we must give respect to this item because of its significance. An extremely powerful and emotive area of HR strategies to understand culture of an organization. It's about time that the top management realize and recognize the inner meaning of culture and how important it is for the growth, stability, and prosperity of an enterprise. Times are tough, times are rough, times are uncertain. A strong culture will create the foundation for the enterprise to face the reality. What matters most is having the right and appropriate culture in place to support the vision and mission of the organization. Culture can make a real difference to any enterprise, irrespective of size, irrespective of location, or product or services. But it is always desirable to be to set the culture right from the very beginning. It is desirable to set the culture right from the very beginning. What is implied? What is implied by culture? Culture is just not another fashionable phrase or a fashionable rhetoric, but a concept on which depends the result of the enterprise to some extent. I strongly opine that organizational culture needs the attention it deserves. It is seldom discussed in the open, kept in a hidden box. I do not know why. I can neither deny culture, but I have to accept culture. If something is wrong, it needs fixing. There is no point in ignoring culture as a topic of discussion. If left on its own device, culture has its own way of expressing itself, and that is the worrying bit. I repeat, if left on its own device, culture has a way of expressing itself, and that is the worrying bit. It can be negative or it can be positive. So why why keep this hidden? Why not open this discussion about organizational culture? Invite opinions and let's move forward for a very inspiring and encouraging culture. I'll be talking about the CB culture a little later, but first, a general discussion of culture itself. Culture, to me, is a set of cumulative and collective beliefs, values, and norms that influence behavior of the employees and organizational behavior. Remember, it is a collective behavior of the members that is referred to as culture. From my understanding, culture is simply the way things are done, which originates from the collective thinkings of the top management and stakeholders and cascades down the organization through vision, mission, values, beliefs, assumptions, and attitude, and influences the behavior of the members and the organization. I repeat, organizational culture is simply the way things are done, which originates from the top management and stakeholders and cascaded down the organization through vision, mission, values, attitude, and assumptions. These are the tools which are used to implement the aspired culture of the top management. Here, the focus is on the way things are done, the collective thinking of whom? Of the top management, and the top management take the initiative at the primary stage, and that includes the total enterprise and influences the behavior of the top management, behavior of the employees and the stakeholders, and influences the body language of the organization. That's what culture is about. Culture brings about an emotive feeling that can be attached to the feelings of the potential customers. Culture is about emotions. Simply as that. What is culture? Culture is about emotions. It is the collective belief, values of the members of the organization, but must be initiated by the top management. The top management will have to realize, will have to acknowledge the truth that culture makes a difference. I strongly opine, I strongly believe that the focus on correct culture is the duty of the top management, at least at the initial stage of the enterprise. I really have to say this, that it is the duty of the top management to focus on the correct culture at the very beginning. Organizations cannot be cultured in its own way. If allowed to express itself, the scenario may be what I'm about to say. Just imagine a culturally degraded organization looks like lawlessness. There's no law, lawlessness. No rules within the organization. Thoughtlessness. There's no thinking within the employees. They're working. Everyone is working without thought. Human rights being ignored. Nobody's really thinking at the cost of human rights. Lack of respect. These are visible in a culturally degraded enterprise. Lack of respect, nobody respects each other. No creativity, no justice within the organization. Principles of meritocracy ignored. That means people are employed, promoted, designated with special powers based not on merit but on friends and relatives. Favoritism. Favoritism seems to be the game, a total one man show. It can be very dangerous for an organization. These are just examples of a so culturally degraded organization where there is no respect for each other, no courtesy. The enterprise seems to lack character, no meaningful goal, corruption and greed everywhere. Everybody seems to be running from where and to where is the issue. Everybody seems to be running, but from where and to where seems to be the issue. But they're running. Everyone seems to be running, running around. Remember, I've just given an example of a culturally degraded enterprise. No creativity, no justice, people running around, do not know where they're coming, where they're going. Total corruption, greed within the organization, no accountability, no transparency, one man show, favoritism wherever you see. Nobody is respected for their merits. People have no meaningful goals, lack of respect, human rights is being ignored, thoughtlessness, no rules, and no law and order within the organization. These are just a few examples, but think about such organizations. These organizations to me are culturally degraded organizations. Now, the big question, can we accept the above or can we aspire for something better? As an HRM professional, I will say, I will aspire for something better. Our goal is to create a culturally prosperous enterprise. That's CPE. I repeat, my aim, or I'm trying to advocate a culture briefly abbreviated by CPE, which means culturally prosperous enterprise. An extremely important, thought provoking idea, which is about a more humanistic organizational culture where people work with a healthy mindset. I repeat, what is my goal? My goal here is to advocate and promote a culture abbreviated by CPE, which means culturally prosperous enterprise, where people are more humanistic culturally and where people work with a healthy mindset. In order to initiate the CPE culture, top management encouragement is a must. But please, we have to remember our starting point is from zero related to CPE. The starting point is related to zero, starting from related to CPE. The CPE initiative. We must begin we must begin from the present or current circumstances without denying the past, acknowledging the present features of the moment. This is how I'm going to actually initiate a CPE culture, which is about beginning from the present without actually denying the past. And I'll be looking into the current traits or current features or features of the moment. Existence of the truth, which must be recognized and accepted. I must recognize what is the truth. An extremely difficult proposition, but at least one can think about the issue of CPE culture, culturally prosperous enterprise. We do realize, with best intention, the human resource professional can actually do anything with the CPE culture. We need the encouragement, we need the endorsement of the top management. It's not about money, it's about thinking culturally. That's what I'm telling people. I'm not talking about money, expenses, I'm just talking about a thinking where we're talking about refined culture. It makes a difference, my friend, it makes a difference. The organization will show who you are. CPE stands for Culturally Prosperous Enterprise, which comprises of vision, mission, values, beliefs, attitude, and assumptions. All these need to be aligned together in a CPE culture. A CPE culture is composed of values, mission, values. Now, sorry about this. No, sorry. Vision comes first. Second comes mission. Third comes values. Fourth comes beliefs. Fifth comes attitude. And sixth is about assumptions in relation to the CPE culture I'm trying to advocate, I'm trying to promote. Vision. You might ask me, what is a vision? Vision statement is about what is important for the organization. Reflected in the vision statement. The vision statement provides the meaning of what the enterprise aims to do for itself, for the society, for the community, and how will its products benefit the community at large. An extremely powerful tool if used properly. It is the vision statement. Vision variation may cause potential friction and confusion. What do I mean by vision variation? It means different people have different visions about the organization. It can be very confusing at times. When I'm talking about the CP culture, it is related to a particular enterprise. The value must be the value must be uniformed, must be centralized. There cannot be any deviation or variations from their vision. Vision is about where the enterprise intends to go, which is meaningful. This is the direction of the enterprise. Unclear vision is there. Unclear vision only invites confusion. Why be confused? People do as they please, where there is no centrality of direction. And this direction that I'm referring to is the vision of the organization. And the HRM specialists will have to use his expertise related to culture and related to meaningful work. We'll have to make people understand what they're doing, why they're doing, the importance of what people are doing. This is the HRM role. They'll have to communicate with employees what they're doing, why they're doing, and the importance attached to the work. Today, employees want to understand the inner meaning of what they're doing. Maybe because of the level of education, maybe because of the YouTube or the usage of all these modern technologies. That's why people nowadays do not accept anything. They will accept only work which is meaningful. Just ask any employee, what is the vision of your organization? Ask three or four people. If it's similar, well and good. If it's dissimilar, that is the worrying part. What sort of behavior will reinforce or hinder the progression towards the vision is a very big issue. What could be the compatible behaviors that will most likely support the vision statement of the enterprise? What could be the likely consequences of each having their own vision, and so on? The answer to these questions will reveal some truth, at least. Remember, my colleagues, my friends, junior seniors, the vision statement must be communicated to all employees. All employees must understand the vision statement. Mission. Now I'm talking about mission, not vision. Mission can be better understood from the phrase mission accomplished, which means something has been achieved or done. From this perspective, mission refers to the accomplishment of something, and mission statement is about the ways to materialize the vision. Briefly, I've got the vision. How am I going to materialize the vision? That's the mission. But briefly, mission means how to accomplish the target. Briefly, a culture of what to achieve is understood, but less on how to achieve that thing will definitely add confusion and will also nurture a culture of confusion. I want to come away from confusion. If I tell them the vision, I must also tell my employees how to achieve the vision. That's about mission. Value is also another important element to create an inspiring and constructive culture. Value statements, to me, is a clear and bold statement when not to cross the line from the perspective of ethics. I repeat, value is a clear and bold statement when not to cross the line from the perspective of ethics. Ethics is about what is right and what is wrong. This value statement shows the true character of the organization. Value is about ethics, which is a branch of knowledge related to what is right and what is wrong. Value is a moral code or a code of conduct that will guide the behavior of members. Organizations need a bold statement that specifically specifies what sort of behavior is acceptable. And most of the well known organizations have their own code of conduct, which is about value. Sorry. Remember, my friends, value statement need not need not be academic, page long, too much intellectuality and theoretical. No, my friends, ideally a value statement should be short, to the point, and simple. We do not need confusion. We do not need intellectuality. We do not need a page long vision. We need something simple, to the point, which can be understood by any person. When I'm preparing a value statement, I have to take into consideration the values of the enterprise, the values of the employees, the values of the community. In fact, to me, value statement is extremely important that must be internalized by the members of the organization. And this is a very difficult task, but must be understood and must be undertaken by the human resource department led by suitably qualified HRM specialist. Having a value, having vision, mission, value is not enough. It must be internalized by the employees. Who will do this? The HRM professional will have to take the responsibility to help the employees understand that these are just not words, these are meaningful words. Only displaying in the corridor is not enough. It will serve no purpose. Value statement is really about ethics and all must be encouraged to respect the value statement. On the other hand, there are other elements. Take, for example, beliefs. By belief, I mean those things that we strongly feel about and is also well justified. This is not just a word, but a word which is associated with emotions and feelings. We must believe in something. Ideally, organizations should develop some bold belief statements, statements that will influence the way the culture will be nurtured. What do I believe? I have to believe in something. And that's what I call, that's an intricate part of CPE culture, culturally prosperous enterprise. The belief of the top management must be aligned with the aspired culture of the organization. Attitude is another element of great attitude means the thinking of the people within the enterprise or those associated with the organization. Generally speaking, we can come across various types of attitudes. For example, assertive attitude, aggressive attitude, passive attitude. I remember attitude can be divided into three parts: aggressive attitude, assertive attitude, and passive attitude. Assertive attitude means attitude which is confident, direct, and upholds one's rights without disturbing the rights of others. Aggressive attitude is about ignoring the rights of others. I have the right. You don't have the right to say anything. That's what I call aggressive attitude. I have the right to speak out. You don't have. That's aggressive. Please be quiet. That's an aggressive way of saying. On the other hand, if I say, please, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, with due respect, let's keep our voices a little down in a humble manner. Passive is giving up. So there are three types of attitudes: assertive, aggressive, and passive. Also, my friends, attitude can be I win, you win. This type of thinking is positive. Let's both of us win. Win win situation. That's another type of thinking. That's positive. I win, you lose. That's negative. That's a greedy type of behavior. When I win, you lose. That's a greedy type of behavior. That's negative to me. I lose, you win. That's a very that's a non-assertive type of thinking, allowing the other person to win while you're losing. And I lose, you also lose. Extremely negative type of thinking. When I'm gonna lose, you're also gonna lose with me. Both of us, let's lose. It's dangerous. At the same time, it is an extremely negative thinking. All these types of thinkings have enormous implications on the type of culture. If the thinking is to win win, it is assertive, it is positive. The body language of the organization will be positive. The whole organization will actually portray an inspiring culture. That's what I call CPE culture, which means culturally prosperous enterprise. Assumption is another ingredient of significance. Assumptions are the thinking of the members without justification and reasoning. Assumptions is about it is a guesswork without any reasons or justifications. We must be aware of assumptions. We must keep our assumptions in our pocket. Not always, not always. It's not possible. But when we are within the organization, when we are trying to work on a new culture, CPE culture, then let's keep assumptions hidden somewhere, if at all possible. Conclusion, my friends, so far I have just concentrated on the beginning of a CPE type of culture and cultural intervention that must be through a suitably qualified HRM practitioner. I have only talked about the beginning. If the beginning is right, the CPE culture will be on the right track. That means the organization should be able to reach its culture objective. Reaching the CPE culture objectively and trying to maintain the CPE culture is very, very important. This is the end for the time being. In my next episode, I'll concentrate further on culture itself. Culture to me is an enormously rich and significant topic. And that's why I'm going to take at least another one more episode to discuss culture, this amazing, this intriguing, thought provoking idea. My friends, God bless all. Have a nice day wherever you are. Stay well and think about what I've just said about organizational culture. As I understand, organizations do not come with a set of cultures. It needs to be nurtured. My friends, so far, that's the end. Take care. Have a nice time. Have a nice day. And God bless you all.